If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
The question, how do you calm anxious thoughts? Answer by Romalyn. We all wish to be successful and be able to reach our goals. High levels of stress and anxiety, however, can make that nearly impossible. It is possible to change the situation around, though, by becoming familiar with the power of your mind. The most important thing to remember in this regard is to focus on what you are doing. The instructions are relatively simple. You need to train your mind to do two things. 1. Learn to think about what you want. 2. Avoid thinking about what you don't want. When you allow your mind to dwell on 2, you will enter into a negative spiral that will trigger the emotion of fear and raise your level of emotional arousal. This state will consume your energy and will run you down in the long run. If you become skillful in using your mind, you can steer it towards 1. So how do we eliminate thinking of what you don't want? Firstly, you need to understand the importance of eliminating negative thoughts or focus. Secondly, you need to become aware when you are thinking negatively or focusing on the negatives of a situation. It is important to understand that negative thinking cannot be avoided entirely. Our minds are constantly thinking, and a lot of what it is thinking is just gibberish. It is important, though, to gently steer your mind towards what you want and away from what you don't want. Here are a few techniques to make that happen. 1. Identify the negative thought and then consciously change it to the opposite, in other words, the positive. 2. Repeat any positive phrase or word to displace your negative thinking. 3. Exaggerate the thought to make it sound totally ridiculous or extremely funny, or think about something funny or humorous. 4. Remind yourself that your negative thought is just that, a negative thought, and that I am not my thoughts. 5. Remember that one negative thought tends to attract a host of others. So think of the consequences of thinking a negative thought. It brings on a host of others, and soon you will be going down a negative spiral. And the last technique underline the importance of being aware of your thoughts. The sooner you can catch a negative thought, the easier it will be to prevent yourself from going down a negative spiral. Some people have a very busy mind and they have fearful thoughts that keep them running on a hamster on a wheel. It is normal to have more fearful thoughts when you are stressed. If you are one of those individuals with a busy mind, do not forget that it's a brain and mind thing. The good news is that you can work creatively with your mind and brain to create a happier life. You can read the rest of the article here. How to overcome negative thoughts and obsessive behaviors. Answer by Mimi Mendoza. Do math, Sudoku, or counting. It relieves anxiety instantly. The part of the brain you have to use when doing mathematics blocks out the part of the brain that has anxiety. I myself use Sudoku. It requires focus, counting, and concentration. During the moments you engage that part of your brain, you literally cannot have anxiety. It works like a charm, even during high anxiety, and is effective every time. Answer by Catherine Miller. I'm sorry to hear that you've been experiencing anxiety. I want you to know that you are not alone. Many men and women struggle with anxiety. I would encourage you to speak with a good friend, parent, or pastor about the anxiety. Hopefully they can help you sort through these thoughts. I know that for many of my friends who struggle with anxiety, praying in their heads or out loud can really calm them down. Here is an article you might find helpful.